Hello, Libra. Welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and this is your November horoscope for 2021. And just to recap, this is the year of the ancestor. Everybody's listening to their own universal beat and walking on their spiritual path. They're dedicated for that walk by walking through this, the birch trees. The ancestor's beating that drum, and you hear that. And only you can hear that, Libra. Everybody's spiritual path is different. Every sign is different. So, you've taken on that quest this year, to listen to that universal beat and walk on that path. In October was a month of transition for you. You had full wind in your sails. You're transitioning under the cover of that full moon. All right. And, that transition of moving from one place to the next, whether that's a relationship, career, social setting, maybe homes, okay, whatever it is that's taking you, Libra. Okay, and a month before that, in September, it was all about skills. So maybe your skills allowed you to, transition into that new job, career, however you want to look at it. All right, so let's see what the theme for the month of November is for you, Libra. November is going to be represented by the Six of Stones and exploitation. Now, what you see here is, a man and his daughter, holding, bowls out for, food. And what they don't realize is, in keeping for their honey, they've destroyed the land. You've got the broken lake behind there, and there's famine behind them, all right? The land is been exploited. Their natural resources in the for the honeybees has moved on to other natural resources that can sustain them. And as a result, these people took advantage of the situation. Okay, they exploited their resources, and didn't save enough of that honey for later on. So, what I like to do is I try not to focus on the negative with this card. What I try to do is I focus on the positive. And that is, this brings an awareness to you for the month of November, Libra, of to use your resources wisely. Whether that's financial resources, emotional resources, your friends, the environment that's around you. Maybe you're recycling more, okay? But, to use what you do have wisely and not overuse them. To make sure that things are being replaced that are broken, to understand that even in relationships, that you don't use other people for your personal gain, right? You want an equal amount of give and take with those relationships. So that's what's going on for you in November, Libra. And that's the opportunity of realizing that, some exploitation could be taking place, but, for you to realize that I need to use my resources wisely. And that first week in November is going to be represented by the Knight of Vessels. And knights are fighters, tacticians, and they also like to start a quest. So, the Knight of Vessels, he wears his heart on his sleeve. So he knows, everybody's able to push his buttons, right? Because he knows what he's got to get to. But he's also very slippery and sleek in the way he goes about his business. And, as he travels through the waterways, he's going to look at opportunities to possibly, if we put this into the Six of Stones exploitation, is look for opportunities of using things wisely, for his benefit, okay? To make sure that, hey, I can slip through this environment very easily. And, the eel ask is where are your emotions running high? Where are your emotions running high, this month of November? Are your emotions to the point where you're exploiting, let's turn into where people are using you, right? And you're ticked about this. Are your emotions running high because of that? Okay. Have you let those people get those emotions high on you? As a result, what's happening is they're draining your energy. Okay. And, stones is all about materialism, and security and stability. So, if your emotions are running high, you're not going to have that strength and stability, that strength and security. Okay, more or less, because what you're doing is you're giving that power to them, Libra. You're not owning that power for yourself. Now, the other question that the eel asks is what needs to be expressed sensitively. If you are talking with other people around being exploited, okay, every time you show up out of the blue, I feel run down and used. All right, I don't get anything back from you. Okay, you come into my life and you suck my energy out, and they might not even realize it, right? But you have to have that conversation with somebody, okay, that is possibly exploiting you, exploiting the use of your energy. And that's where this eel, even though this is an awareness card for the month, exploitation, that's where this eel is going to be somebody in your life, or possibly even you, confronting somebody, Libra, in the month of November and saying, you know what? I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let so-and-so push my buttons. All right, I'm not going to get so emotionally distraught, okay, to where, people are going to take advantage of me. And that's where this Knight of Vessels comes in, this eel. He looks at those things and he says, okay, you know what? I'm not going to let my emotions run high because I'm aware of that. And I'm also, going to express to that person in a sensitive manner of, look, this is what I feel when you're doing to me. And from there on, you can move forward and be on that quest of awareness of being, exploited. And that's in the first week of November. So let's see what that second week has for you, Libra. The second week's going to be represented by the Green Woman. This is a life lessons card. Now, the Green Woman shows up right after the Fool starts his journey. The Fool talks to the Shaman and the Seer, and then the Green Woman shows up afterwards. Now, she has the cauldron of milk here. So she wants to nurture you on your path. All right, and she also has a couple imps by her side. And, the Green Woman is all about, the Green Woman and the Green Man are nurturers. Okay, now the Green Woman wants to give you that sustenance within. Okay, to give you that pure milk of energy. Okay, that pure milk of life to help you along with this quest. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, well, how does the Six of Stones exploitation, fall into that? Here you've got an opportunity of nurturing, an opportunity of, being sustained, okay? Because this cauldron is for you. Now you have a couple opportunities here of sharing it or keeping it to yourself. That's your decision, Libra, on how you want to do this during the second week. Are you going to nurture others, okay? Or are you going to feel exploited during that process? Or are you going to nurture yourself? Okay, because there's plenty of milk to go around. It's how you distribute that milk to others, to make them feel loved within the wildwood forest, okay? To help them understand, what's happening in their lives, okay? Having that nourishment at a time when there's exploitation going around, the universe is looking down on you and saying, you know what, this is an awareness card for you, but we still have plenty of food here for you to drink, plenty of food to keep you moving forward, okay? But don't let those emotions get too high, right? Stay even keeled. Just as there's no ripples in the water in the milk, and it's got that even temperature where it's not too hot and not too cold. Okay, it's going to give you that opportunity of embodying your life to sustain you, to look at things clearly. And that's what the green woman is there for. The green man wants to give you that mantle of kingship as you're walking through the forest, that security and that stability. The green woman wants to protect you and nurture you during that process. So here you may have had that conversation with somebody around misusing your energy, Libra, okay, or being exploited. But it's you're doing so in a sensitive way that you don't have to worry about them taking too much, because there's enough there. Now the third week is represented by the King of Arrows, okay, the Kingfisher. So you've got a knight, you've got a king. Kings, now the arrows itself is intellectual, it's air energy, all right? And, the Kingfisher, very beautiful bird, but, likes to dive into the water, to go to deep depths to, get his fish. He's at home in the water as well as in the air. Kings rule the kingdom. And this king rules that intellectual piece of it very well. And he asks the questions, what must you focus on clearly? If you're aware of the exploitation issues that are going to happen during this month, of, people using you wrongly, all right, how do you put a hedge around that, a protection around yourself to make sure that you don't get used, right? The king will ask you what must you focus on clearly. Don't listen to the mumbo jumbo of what others are telling you, okay? Use the senses that you do have to give you that accurate feel of what's going on. Clearly focus on the aspect of saying, you know what? I need to watch my resources. And maybe, during that third week, you write things down and say, okay, where am I at with my finances? Where am I at with my emotions? Where am I at with, my thinking? Where am I at with my actions? Okay. What do I need to focus on clearly in order to not feel this exploitation? And then this King of Arrows also asks, this Kingfisher asks, who can give you the good advice? Who can give you the good advice to use those resources wisely? Let's say you have a little bit of extra cash. Who can you talk to say, how can I invest this wisely? To where it's there for me on a rainy day. How can you do something with your garden? Who can you talk to say, you know what, I want a better crop next year? What do I need to do for the winter to, make sure everything's ready for me in the spring? And that's where you can focus on things clearly, and that's where you can, talk to the right people to give you that right advice. And then you're not misusing resources, you're using the resources wisely. All right, Libra, so let's see what happens for you during this Thanksgiving week. And that's going to be represented by the Guardian. Another life lessons card, you got 2 down here for this exploitation. Okay, and as you're listening to the Knight and the King, the Knight of Vessels and King of Arrows, making sure that your emotions aren't running highly, and you're talking to the right people, focusing on things clearly. The Guardian wants you to face your fears. The Guardian wants you to say, you know what? I am not going down this road, okay, of being used. I am going to use my resources wisely going into December and the rest of the year, okay, because I can't let that feeling of being taken advantage of for myself. I have to go through that process of, I want to nurture myself and nurture others. So I'm going to face those fears, and I'm going to walk past that path, down there, and say, you know what? I'm not afraid of you, okay? And I'm going to talk to you in a way that will keep my, emotions in check, as well as, I'm focused clearly on this aspect of how I want to go about doing things. And, when you face that guardian, he'll move off to the side and he'll let you move forward. Okay, so don't be fearful of this exploitation for this month. At the end of the month, you'll be able to look at this guardian and say, you know what? I handled everything the first 3 weeks, and I'm moving past you, going into December with a clear mind, clear soul, and ready to move forward. So there you have it, Libra. That's the month of November for you. The Six of Stones, exploitation. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. And this is D for the Spirit's Path, and we'll talk to you in the month of December. Take care, God bless, and stay safe, everybody.